Hello viewers, these are key messages from the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education on the coronavirus. Dear parents, keep children at home at all times. Avoid sending children to shops and markets. Do not engage children in petty trading on the streets and garages. Allow children to play within the confines of the home. Limit visitors into your homes. Adhere to COVID-19 health precautions and guidelines. Schools are closed, but learning continues. Dear teachers, you are encouraged to desist from all forms of group activities involving students. All school premises should remain closed and not to be used for any other purpose. Thank you.
Good day once again. My name is Amijaite, and welcome back to another lesson. Today we are going to look at figures of speech. As you know, this part is very, very important as it will help both exam classes to answer in the part in comprehension that talks about figures of speech and their meaning. As I said, we will be looking at figure of speech. We will look at start with the definition, and the definition which states that a figure of speech or a literary device, that is to say, figures of speech are otherwise called literary devices. They are a group of words or expressions that have different meaning from their literal meaning. It means if you look at them literally, the meaning they suggest and their actual meaning are not the same. They require some form of interpretations in order for one to know their meaning. So just to summarily say, figures of speech are words or expressions that have different meaning from their literal meaning. We will look at few examinable literary devices, not all of them, but we are looking at that aspect that comes in the examination. So the few that we have are simile, metaphor, personification, hyperbole, rhetorical question, euphemism, and irony. Today we are only going to look at the 7. We will start with simile. As you know, people have different ways of writing their spelling. Some will write smile, some will write simile as in L-E-Y, but just to tell you, the correct spelling is S-I-M-I-L-E. Now when you look at simile, it says it's a comparison of unlike things using as or like. What we are saying is that two unlike things are compared with the use of as or like. So in any exam, in any assessment, or any work that you see a statement that is comparing two unlike things, using as or using like, should be a simile. We are going to give you few examples that will really make you understand or distinguish simile from other devices that we will be discussing. Now, first example of simile is, the class is as quiet as a graveyard. The class is as quiet as a graveyard. You have seen the as. You have seen two as in the statement that I just mentioned. You have seen an adjective in the middle. So we are trying to compare the class and the graveyard. We are trying to say that the class is as quiet as the graveyard. That is comparing the classroom situation, how quiet the classroom situation is, to how quiet a graveyard is. So therefore, this statement is a simile. We will look at the second example. The class prefect behaves like a king. The class prefect behaves like a king. What are we comparing here? We are comparing the class prefect and a king. It means the class prefect behavior is just like the behavior of a king. So simile is also used in that expression. Our third example is, Lamin's head is as big as a jar. We are comparing what? Lamin's head to that of a jar. Lamin's head here is compared to how big a jar is. So simile is used in that expression. Again, the antelope flies like an aeroplane. What are we comparing in this statement? We are comparing an antelope, comparing it with an aeroplane. We are saying that the antelope flies like the way the aeroplane flies. So when we compare the antelope and the aeroplane as two unlike terms, using as, so simile is used. We will look at our last example on the simile, which is, he jumped like a frog. He jumps like a frog. If I say Buba jumps like a frog in the class, it means I am comparing Buba to a frog, using what? Like. So with these examples that I have given, you can all bear me witness that two unlike terms, two unlike things are compared. Like the classroom and the graveyard are two compared things. The class prefect and the king are two unlike terms. Lamin jumping, like he jumps, and to the way the frog jump are unlike terms. But we are trying to compare all these using as or like. So to show you, simile is a comparison of two things using as or like. We will now move to our second figures of speech, the metaphor. Now, what is a metaphor? That one also, students have different ways of spelling it, so you take note of the spelling. It's a metaphor, not a metaphor, like some people will put TH there. So metaphor here is a direct comparison of two things. If you look at it very well, it's just like the opposite of simile, where simile is the indirect comparison of two unlike things. Metaphor is the direct comparison of two things without the use of as or like. It also includes some idiomatic expressions. We will look at our first example. Mustapha is a lion. If I say Mustapha is like a lion, then the statement will be a simile. But when I say Mustapha is a lion, it means I'm directly comparing Mustapha and a lion. Second example. She is the apple of my eyes. We also said it includes some idioms. Apple of my eyes also means something else. So we are comparing she to an apple. Not saying she is like the apple of my eye, but she is. That is why we have metaphor as the direct comparison of two things without the use of as or like. He is a star. Not he is behaving like a star. He is a star. Her long hair was a flowing golden river. We did not say her long hair was like a flowing golden river, but her long hair was a flowing golden river. It means we are directly comparing without using as or like. Modu's eyes were eyes as he stared at me. Not saying Modu's eyes were like eyes as he stared at me, but this is a direct statement, as in Modu's eyes were eyes as he stared at me. So looking at simile on the other hand and metaphor here, you can realize that they are like opposite. Metaphor compares directly without using as or like, but simile compares indirectly with the use of as or like. We will still move to another literary device, which is called personification. What is a personification? Personification is the use of human qualities to inanimate objects. What are we trying to say? When you take human attributes, things that a human being can do, and you now relate it to inanimate objects, it means you are personifying them. Example, the wind sweeps our compound every morning. What is sweeping and who does it? Sweeping is a human attribute. Now, when you take sweeping and attribute it to the wind, it means you are personifying the wind. So when human qualities are given to inanimate objects, personification is the device used there. Second example, the pen dances furiously on the paper. Who dances? Well, human dances. But now when you are taking an ordinary pen and you are attributing dancing to the pen, it means you are personifying the pen. So when the pen dances, it's a personification, because dancing is a human attribute. We will look at the next one. The wind whistles at me. Again, the wind, which is non-human. When the wind whistles, whistle is done by human being, as in, so when the wind whistles, when we take whistling, which is a human attribute, and give it to the wind, it means we are personifying the wind. The next one we have, death has visited my grandmother 6 years ago. Visited. Visited here is the human attribute. But we are now taking the visited and attributing it to death. It means we are personifying death. So when human attributes are given to inanimate objects, personification is used there. Our fifth example, the sun peeped at my window. Peeping is a human attribute. Now when we take the peeping and attribute it to the sun, it means we are personifying the sun. These are the examples we have under personification. Now, taking you from the top, simile is the indirect comparison of two things with the use of as or like. Metaphor is the direct comparison of two things without the use of as or like. Now, personification is given human qualities to inanimate objects. They are not the same. So at this point, if you are given any statement, you should be able to distinguish so far with the three that we have dealt with. We will now move to our fourth device, which is called hyperbole. Hyperbole. Hyperbole is a deliberate exaggeration of a statement for emphasis. When you reason things beyond, when you blow up things beyond reasonable proportion, where small things are made to appear big, it means you are exaggerating. And the reason why people exaggerate is to lay emphasis on that. These, I can say, are common devices that are used by people, especially women. First example, the whole Gambia attended his naming ceremony. Well, from this statement, we have realized that no matter the amount of people there cannot be equivalent to the whole population of the Gambia. So when the whole Gambia attended his naming ceremony, it means we are exaggerating. Exaggerating something that could have been said. Many people attended the naming ceremony, but that many now is exaggerated to the whole Gambia. So this is to show you that we exaggerate for emphasis. The second example, he was so thirsty that he could drink the whole river. No matter how thirsty you are, well, you cannot drink the entire river, as you cannot finish the water in the river. So we can realize that he was so thirsty, very, very thirsty. So to emphasize that, we said that he was so thirsty that he could drink the whole river. The third example, when he shouted, the whole world heard about it. The whole world cannot hear about it, but we are exaggerating for emphasis. Again, Lamin's teeth are sharper than razor. No matter how sharp Lamin's teeth are, they can never be sharper than razor. Just to tell you that we are emphasizing how sharp Lamin's teeth are. Fifth, New York is the wall. No matter how beautiful and amazing New York is, it cannot be the wall. It means we are emphasizing. It means we are exaggerating. Good. We will move to our fifth literary device, which is a rhetorical question. Now, a rhetorical question is a question with an obvious answer. Therefore, it does not require any answer. The one reading out the rhetorical question definitely knows that he does not, he's not expecting any answer from anyone. Now, rhetorical questions can be easily identified with the question mark at the end. With all the 7, it is the only one that has a question mark at the end. And the first question is, who knows tomorrow? These are questions that don't require any answer, because the answer is obvious to everybody. Who wants to be poor? No one, so we are not requiring any answer there, as the answer is also obvious. Who wants to die? That is a rhetorical question. Are you not from the womb of a woman? When you ask these questions, you require no answer. Have I not helped you enough? This one also requires no answer. So you should know that a rhetorical question is a question with an obvious answer known to everybody. Therefore, it requires no answer. At this point, you should be able to distinguish from where we started to where we are now. And to continue, we will move with euphemism. Euphemism. A euphemism is an expression where unpleasant things are said in a pleasant way, or it is a mild way of expressing an unpleasant situation. When situations are unpleasant, you try to say them in a very nice way so that the receiver does not get offended. It means you are eupheminizing. Example, I want to ease myself. Rather than saying, I am going to the toilet. But you can just nicely say it, I want to ease myself. The second one, she has been put in a family way. When someone is pregnant, you can just nicely say, she has been put in a family way, rather than saying, she is impregnated. Number 3, he is economical to the truth. When an elder is talking, and maybe you realize that the person is not speaking the truth, you can just nicely and mildly say, he is economical to the truth. Again, his grandfather has kicked the bucket since last year. The grandfather has died, but you can say, his grandfather has kicked the bucket in a nice and a mild way. Again, your husband is the gentleman of the road. You cannot face someone's husband and say, your husband is a thief. But you can just nicely tell the person, your husband is the gentleman of the road, in a very nice way, so that the person receiving the information will not be offended. Good. We will move to the 7th, which is called irony. Not irony, but irony. And irony is an expression that is opposite to the literal meaning. Meaning you expect something to happen in a certain way, and the unexpected happen, it means irony is used. Example, what a good student. These are two different statements put together. If you say what a good student, we expect a positive continuation. But you just said what a good student, he failed all his subjects. So what a good student, he failed all his subjects. It has another meaning, which means that he is not at all a good student. Example 2. She is so intelligent that she cannot spell her name. If you are so intelligent that you cannot spell your name, it means you are a dull student. It means you are not bright. So this statement has another meaning, We will look at the third one. What a lucky man. His house is being robbed by thieves. Is he lucky? He's not lucky anymore, since the thieves robbed everything in his house. The fourth one. What a responsible husband. His children are starving to death. Is he responsible? No. So this has another meaning. The fifth one. That was a comprehensive lesson. No student understood. If the lesson is comprehensive, students should be able to understand. But if no student understood, it means the lesson is not comprehensive. So this is what takes us to the examples of irony. I know that you will be able to distinguish between simile, metaphor, personification, rhetorical question, irony, euphemism. You should be able to know anywhere they appear in any sentence. You should be able to know the device that it belongs to. Before we take a leave of you, we would like to move on with class exercise to strengthen your understanding. And the instruction is, underline and identify the figure of speech used in each of the following statements. The first one, he was so thirsty that he could drink the whole river. If you look at this device, it is not a simile, it is not a metaphor, it's not an irony, but what we can see in the statement is exaggeration. And when you exaggerate, hyperbole is the right answer there. The second one, when he shouted, the whole world heard about it. It means also we are blowing things beyond reasonable proportion. The whole world cannot hear a shout of an individual. It means we are exaggerating. So therefore the answer there is hyperbole. Number 3, Lamin's teeth are sharper than razor. Lamin's teeth can never be sharper than a razor. That one also, it means we are exaggerating. Hyperbole is used again. She is so intelligent that she cannot spell her name. She is so intelligent that she cannot spell her name. It's irony, as we can see that the statement has another literal meaning. What a lucky man. His house is being robbed by thieves. Again, irony is used. What a responsible husband. His children are starving to death. Again, irony is used there. Number 7, she has been put in a family way. She has been put in a family way. This statement is a euphemism because it's a mild way or is a nice way of saying something unpleasant. He is economical to the truth. It means he is not speaking the truth. Euphemism is used there. His grandfather has kicked the bucket since last year. Euphemism is also used there. Before we take a leave of you, we have an assignment that you are expected to do as you're sitting at home. And the instruction for the assignment is that you give 2 examples of each of the following devices or figure of speech. The first one is a personification. You should give us 2 examples of personification after understanding all about it. You give us 2 examples of metaphor, 2 examples of simile, irony, euphemism, hyperbole. When we meet again, before doing anything, we will look at the 2 examples that you have. Bye for now, and I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Always try to wash your hands with clean water, use sanitizers, and also consider all the precautionary measures that are put in place for us all to fight the coronavirus. Remember to always tune into your TV to follow the lessons, as they will be very beneficial to you. Thank you.
Hello viewers, these are key messages from the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education on the coronavirus. Dear parents, keep children at home at all times. Avoid sending children to shops and markets. Do not engage children in petty trading on the streets and garages. Allow children to play within the confines of the home. Limit visitors into your homes. Adhere to COVID-19 health precautions and guidelines. Schools are closed, but learning continues. Dear teachers, you are encouraged to desist from all forms of group activities involving students. All school premises should remain closed and not to be used for any other purpose. Thank you.
Have your say.
Fellow Gambians, my government has approved a $500 million emergency fund, which the Ministries of Health and Finance will work on for disbursement and use to fight COVID-19 menace.
xaalis bi tege yomb na waaye xam lu jafe mooy séddale bi niñ ko séddalee ak ndax danañ ko jox ñi ko yeeyoo wala duñ leen ko jox loolu moo jara laajte.
cos loo xam ne la nit yee tax ñu joxe ko te nit ñi ñoo leen fa teg te xaalis nit yi la comme xaalis yi population bi la wax dëgg yàlla li gënoon mooy ku nekk gis sa boppa
man su ma sañoon daal ñu séedoo ko nu mu waroo buñ si def xaaj loo ñii diw nañ ko si ku nekk loo war a am nga am ko.
askan bi seen dem ak dikk bu ñu wàññee mu jël ko def ko si loolu noonu participer ko si loolu noonu ba nga xam ne danañ mën a ànd ak moom si wàññi suñu dem ak suñu dikk.
génne leen xaalis bi nañ ko génnee ñu def ko ñu defar suñu réew mi defar réew nag da nga koy commencé njàng mu baax nit ñi di faju feebar di faju tan feebar di faju dafa xemul kombo loolu affaire bi du kombo rek nañ génne ci àll bi yëpp ñu defar fa hôpital li war man mi nekk kombo moo war ka nekk fototo moo war ka nekk Pokaw Njóogu moo war ko nekk feneen.
waaye nit doo ko mën a wax mu teg këram joxuloo ko dara lu mu lekk soo ñun balaa corona dañu rey xiif moo ñoo rey.
nguur bi su nekkee ne 500 millions Gambie ñaata population bi ñu ñaata lañ.
2 point or 1 point.
ok 2 point boobu noonu su nekkee dañ ko war a séddale si nit ñi ku nekk ñaata la war a am.
million su bëri soosu noonu nañ ko xaaj jox xel benn xaaf ñu téyegum ñu jël beneen xaaf bi yóbbu ko ci communauté bi ñu téyegum.
o silang ni nga arda ko bulu courant lu sorota ani borolu sayin pentanlu panande nyante hakilo falol fanan kanne
ya fako nga ta si suo kono ha man sala million be maburu nga bulo kono man sana la kuol bebe kuo be kala jeto hana nyil min fankana fontolen ko nga ta si suo kono fotolo man tara man sa do kuol nin karo fate man tara kejo
xaalis boobu dañ ko war a xaaj ñu jël xaaj bi dugal ko si wéru yaram bi ñaareel xaaj bi dugal ko si askan bi.
Have your say.
Hey there. You must have heard about a new viral disease called